and welcome to my YouTube channel on Learn Biology with Ruby. Okay, so today we're going to be doing our first lesson, that is lesson 1. So on lesson 1, we're going to be doing introduction to biology. Basically, that's the broad topic. Okay, so under introduction to biology, I have some learning objectives here. Number 1, definition of biology. Number 2, branches of biology. Number 3, importance of biology, which is going to lead us to careers in biology. Number 4, safety in the laboratory. And number 5, safety labels. Okay, so we're going to split lesson 1 into 2 parts. So in this video, we're going to be doing part A, whereby we're going to be answering the learning objectives, definition of biology, branches of biology, and importance of biology, which is leading us to careers in biology. So I hope by the end of this video, you'll be able to define biology, to state and explain the branches of biology, and also you have some basic knowledge on careers in biology. Okay. So without wasting much time, we move to the first learning objective of lesson 1, part A. Okay, that is definition of biology. So biology is the study of life. It is the scientific study of life and living organisms, examining their structure, their function, their growth, their origin, their evolution, and distribution. So biology is the study of life. If we were to split the word biology, we could get bio, which means life, and we could get logy, which means study of, okay, right? So biology is the study of life. Like I said, if we could split the word, we could get bio, which means life, and logy, which means study of. So altogether, study of life. It is the scientific study of life and living organisms, examining their structure, their function, their growth, their origin, their evolution, and their distribution. So that is biology for you, study of life. Okay. Then you move on to the next learning objective in this video, that is branches of biology. So we have a lot of branches in biology, but I have a few branches here. Okay, so the first branch of biology that I have here is zoology. Zoology, this is the study of animals, including their behaviors. If you just look at the word zoology and you just think of animals in a zoo, you could never forget this. The study of animals, including their behaviors. Okay. And then you move on to the next branch of biology, that is botany. Botany, this is the study of plants. So under the branch botany, we are studying plants. Then we move on to the next branch of biology that I have listed here, microbiology. Microbiology, this is the study of microorganisms and how they affect man by playing a role in disease, in industry, and the environment. So the microorganisms that I'm talking about bacteria, virus, protozoa, and fungi. Okay, so just from the word itself, microbiology, biology, we now know study of life. So we are studying microbiology. It means now it has something to do with microorganisms. So this is the study of microorganisms and how they affect men by playing a role in disease, in industry, and in the environment. And the microorganisms are bacteria, virus, protozoa, fungi, so forth. Okay. Then we move on to the next branch of biology that I have here. This is physiology. Physiology is simply the study of how living organisms function. We are studying processes like respiration, nutrition, and so forth. Okay, that is physiology. We are studying how living organisms function. Okay, physiology, study of how living organisms function. Okay, then we move on to the next branch of biology that I have here. That is ecology. Ecology, this is the study of the interactions between living organisms and their environment. So under ecology, if you just think of the word ecosystem, yeah, you're right. This is the study of the interaction between living organisms and their environment. Yes. Okay, then we move on to the next branch of biology that we have here. That is anatomy. Anatomy is simply the study of the internal structure of organisms. Okay, anatomy, this is the study of the internal structure of organisms. Okay, then we move on to the next branch of biology that I have here, that is cytology, which is simply known as cell biology. So cytology, simply known as cell biology. This is just from the word you can see we are studying cells. Okay, So this the study of cells, their structure and their function. Okay, so cytology, this is the study of cells, whereby we'll be studying their structure and their function. It is the study of how cells are organized, how they divide, how they communicate, and how they carry out processes like metabolism and protein synthesis. Okay, so we are studying how cells are organized, how they divide, communicate, and carry out processes like metabolism and protein synthesis. Okay, then you move on to the next branch of biology that I have here, that is taxonomy. When you see the word taxonomy, you can think of taxonomy hierarchy. Yes, you're right. Okay, so taxonomy, the branch of biology, taxonomy, this is the study of the classification of living things. So under taxonomy, studying the classification of living organisms. So we are studying how living things are classified into groups. So it groups living things into a hierarchical system like kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, based on shared characteristics and evolutionary relationship. So taxonomy, we are grouping living things into a hierarchical system based on shared characteristics and evolutionary relationships. So the hierarchical system that we are grouping the living organisms into, we are grouping them into kingdom, into phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Okay, so I always love calling it King, Philip, Ken, order, food, go, smalley. King for kingdom, Philip for phylum, Ken for class, order for order, food for family, go for genus, smalley for species. Okay. Then we move on to the next branch of biology that I have here, that is biotechnology. Okay, so biotechnology, this is the use of living organisms, cells, or biological systems to create products and processes that benefit people. For example, insulin production. Okay, so biotechnology, this is the use of living organisms, cells, or biological systems to create products and processes that benefit people. For example, insulin production. We also have brewing there. Okay, then I move on to the next branch of biology, that is the last branch of biology that I have here, that is genetics. From the word itself, genetic, it shows it has something to do with genes. Okay, so genetics, this is the study of the inheritance, heredity, and variation in living things. The study of inheritance, heredity, and variation in living things. It is the study of how traits are passed from parents to offsprings, how DNA encodes information, how genes are expressed, mutated, and regulated in organisms. So genetics, basically we are studying how traits are passed from parents to offsprings, how DNA encodes information, how genes are expressed, mutated, and regulated. Okay, so we now move on to the last learning objective of lesson 1, Introduction to Biology, part A, that is careers in biology. So there are plenty of careers in biology, a lot, but I just have a few careers here. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's move to the first career in biology that I have here. That is a biologist. A biologist is a scientist who studies living organisms and the processes that keep them alive. So that is a biologist for you. They're studying living organisms and all the processes that keep them alive. Okay, so biologists can specialize. Others specialize in plants, others in animals, others in ecology, others in genetics. It all depends on their field of interest. Okay, so we move on to the next career in biology that I have here. That is a biochemist. A biochemist, they study the chemical reactions and molecules inside living organisms. Okay, basically they're studying how molecules interact to make cells work, grow, and respond. That is the function of that is the duty or the role of a biochemist. And then we move on to the next career in biology that I have here. That is a medical microbiologist. So a medical microbiologist studies organisms that cause diseases in humans. So medical microbiologists, they study organisms that cause diseases in humans. Then after that, they now study the antibiotics or the treatments that works against the microorganisms. Okay, then we move on to the next career in biology that I have here. That is a virologist. Just from the word virologist, it means they have something to do with viruses. Okay, so they study viruses, how they are structured, structured, how they replicate, how they infect hosts, and how they spread. Okay, so they're studying how viruses are structured, how they replicate, how they infect hosts, and how they spread. That is a virologist. Then we move on to the next career in biology that I have here, that is an ecologist. An ecologist, just from the definition of the branch of biology, ecology, an ecologist study how organisms interact with each other in their environment. That is the role of an ecologist. Then we move on to the next career in biology that I have here, that is a dietitian. A dietitian is simply a healthcare professional who studies how food and nutrition affect human health, and they use that to plan diets for individuals and for certain groups. That is a dietitian. Then we move on to a biology teacher. Those are your biology teachers, your online teachers, your class teachers. Is a career in biology. Okay, then we have hematology. A hematologist. A hematologist. Okay. This is a hematologist. A hematologist simply studies blood forming organisms and blood disorders. So you can think of hematologist, then you think of hemoglobin. Yeah, so they study blood forming organs. Okay, sorry, not organisms, organs, and blood disorders. Then we have a biological technician, we have a botanical instructor. Just from the word, they have something to do with plants. A biotechnology research scientist, we have genetic counselors, we have research scientists, we have a dermatologist. Okay, that is a dermatologist. A dermatologist is a doctor who diagnoses and treats conditions of the skin, of the hair, of the nails, and so forth. Okay, so this is all for careers in biology. There are a lot of careers in biology, but I just listed a few. Okay, so meet you in part B of lesson 1, whereby we'll be talking about safety in the laboratory and safety labels. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell to get notifications as soon as I drop a video. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope and believe that you're going to have great time studying biology. All the best in your biology studies. Thank you so much, and stay blessed.